Welcome to the Thai Alley podcast, where you learn real Thai through real-life conversations in Thailand.
Hey everyone! We're so glad you could join us.
So Claire, have you ever been on the Bangkok SkyTrain, positive you knew your stop, but then realized the station you needed was actually for the subway?
All the time when I first moved here. It's a classic mix-up for anyone new to the city.
Exactly. So in this episode, we're going to help you navigate public transport like a pro.
You'll learn some essential phrases for asking which station to get off at and how to confirm you're going the right way. It's incredibly useful for getting around Bangkok.
Let's listen to a conversation between two friends on the BTS SkyTrain, heading to a famous weekend market.
เราจะไปตลาดจตุจักรใช่ไหมคะ
ใช่ครับเราจะไปตลาดจตุจักรครับ
เราต้องลงสถานีอะไรคะ
เราลงสถานีหมอชิตครับ
อ๋อ สถานีหมอชิตไม่ใช่สถานีกำแพงเพชร
ใช่ครับสถานีกำแพงเพชรคือรถไฟใต้ดินครับอันนี้รถไฟฟ้า
เข้าใจแล้วค่ะขอบคุณมากค่ะ
ไม่เป็นไรครับสถานีต่อไปก็ถึงแล้วครับ
Okay, welcome back. This is such a classic Bangkok conversation, figuring out the right SkyTrain stop for a famous landmark.
It really is. And it's a great example of a simple, helpful exchange you might have with a friend while navigating the city.
Alright, let's jump into the dialogue. The first line is from Ploy, and she says, เราจะไปตลาดจตุจักรใช่ไหมคะ
And that means we're going to Chatuchak Market, right? A very common question when you're trying not to miss your stop.
Exactly. Let's break that down. The first important word is ตลาด which means Charawait should also Shadiyes Rorget. Shadiyes should also Charawait should also ตลาด Chadaways Chadiyes Rorget.
And as a cultural note, Chatuchak Market, often called JJ Market, is one of the biggest outdoor markets in the world. It's a very famous destination in Bangkok.
It really is. Now for the second part of Ploy's sentence, ใช่ไหม Satsu alash. This is a super useful phrase. You add it to the end of a statement to ask for confirmation, just like saying, right? Alash, isn't it? In English.
So you can make a statement and then add ใช่ไหม to see if the other person agrees.
You got it. For example, if you think the weather is hot, you can say to a friend, ร้อนใช่ไหม which means it's hot, right?
Or if a movie is fun, you could say หนังสนุกใช่ไหม The movie is fun, isn't it?
Perfect examples. So Ploy is just confirming their plan to go to the market.
Exactly. So Tan replies with his confirmation. He says, ใช่ครับเราจะไปตลาดจตุจักรครับ Zian. It means, yes, we are going to Chatuchak Market.
A very straightforward answer.
It is. He starts with เขียวใช่ครับ were. Since Ploy ended her question with เขียว question with เขียว ใช่ไหม The most direct answer is just ใช่ which means yes or แห่งเดียว question keyword. That's right.
So he's just dropping the pathak question, part tisa part, and confirming with the dot pack part.
That's it. Then he says เราจะไป where are. The first word เรา means we.
Okay, we.
And then จะไป etaki. This means we'll go etaki. The word จะ indicates a future action, and ไป is the verb to go.
So เราจะไป literally means we will go.
You got it. And their destination is ตลาด จตุจักร nin. Let's break that down. ตลาด means market.
And Chatuchak is the name. Chatuchak, right? The famous weekend market in Bangkok.
The very same. Finally, he ends with the polite particle for men ครับ riren. So he's just politely confirming their plan.
Okay, so after Tan confirms they're heading to Chatuchak, Ploy asks a very logical follow-up question. She says, เราต้องลงสถานีอะไรคะ which means, what station do we need to get off at?
A classic public transport question.
Exactly. Let's break it down. First, we have a really useful verb. ลง
Long means to get off a vehicle, like a train or bus. It also more generally means to go down or to descend.
So if you're in a taxi and want to get out, you can just say ลงที่นี่ which means get off here.
Super useful. The next word in her question is สถานี
And สถานี simply means station.
Right. So you could say สถานีรถไฟ for train station or สถานีตำรวจ for police station.
And you'll hear this a lot on the SkyTrain itself. They'll announce สถานีต่อไป which means next station.
So putting it together, Ploy is literally asking, we must get off station what?
That's it. A very clear and direct question. Now, let's hear how Tan responds.
Okay, so Tan replies to Ploy's question with เราลงสถานีหมอชิตครับ This means we get off at หมอชิต station.
A nice, simple answer.
Very simple. It starts with เรา which means we, $80. After that is the verb ลง
is, that the opposite of ขึ้น for, get on.
Exactly. ลง means to get off or to go down. So you ขึ้นรถไฟ get on the train and you ลงรถไฟ get off the train.
That's a great pair to remember.
Then we hear the words we know. สถานี ปอ station and then the station's name ปออชิต
So Mochit is just the name. Got it.
Right? And Tan finishes his sentence with ครับ ปีกวีเกะ Since Tan is a male speaker, he uses ครับ to be polite. It's the male equivalent of ค่ะ จุด
So structure is literally, we get off station, Mochit, Sapid. Just swapping the question word for the answer.
That's it. Very direct. So now they know their destination.
Okay, so Ploy gets it. She replies with a line that's really useful for clarifying things. She says, อ๋อ สถานีหมอชิต ไม่ใช่สถานีกำแพงเพชร
Which means, oh, Mochit station, not Kampeng Pet station.
Exactly. She's confirming the correct station and negating the wrong one. The key phrase here is a super important one. ไม่ใช่
And ไม่ใช่ means it's not or not to be.
Right? In Thai, there are two main ways to say not a cool. You use a kid to ไม่ใช่ when you are negating a noun. So you're saying something is not something else. The structure is basically A is not B.
So here A is Mochit station and she's saying it is not B, Kampeng Pet station. Simple as that.
Perfect. This is different from just using the word ไม่ which you'd use for verbs or adjectives. For example, ไม่ไป means don't go or ไม่ร้อน means not hot.
So for nouns, it has to be เขาขี้ ไม่ใช่ cover. Like, if I wanted to say, I am not a student, I'd say, ฉันไม่ใช่คนนักเรียน
You got it. So Ploy is confirming she understands the correct station by stating what is ดอกจัน not ดอกจัน
And Tan confirms that Ploy is on the right track, but on the wrong train. He says, ใช่ครับ สถานีกำแพงเพชร คือรถไฟใต้ดินครับ อันนี้รถไฟฟ้า This means, correct. Kampeng Phet is for the subway. This is the SkyTrain.
Okay, so he's clarifying a really important distinction. Let's break down those two types of trains.
Let's do it. First, he says that Kampeng Phet station is for the รถไฟใต้ดิน in key. This literally means train under the ground in key. It's the word for the subway or the MRT system in Bangkok.
So รถไฟ is train and ใต้ดิน is underground. That makes sense.
Exactly. Then he says อันนี้รถไฟฟ้า meaning this is the sky train. Here, the keyword is รถไฟฟ้า
And what does that break down to?
It means electric train. รถไฟ is train, and ไฟฟ้า means electric. This is what everyone calls the elevated train in Bangkok, the BTS sky train.
That's a super useful thing to know. So one is underground train and the other is Angwester electric train.
It is, and it's a key piece of information for navigating Bangkok. The sky train, the BTS, and the subway, the MRT, are two totally separate systems. Tan is pointing out that while Kamphaeng Phet is a valid station for the market, it's an MRT station. They are currently on the BTS.
Okay, so Tan just explained the huge difference between the two train systems, and Ploy's response shows she got the message. She says, เข้าใจแล้วค่ะ ขอบคุณมากค่ะ which means, I understand now. Thank you very much. Let's look at the first part of that. เข้าใจแล้วค่ะ The keyword here is เข้าใจนะ Jules.
And เข้าใจ means to understand.
Right? The word แล้ว that comes after it adds the sense of already or now. So เข้าใจแล้ว is I understand now or I've understood.
So if someone is explaining something to you and you want to let them know you get it, you can just say เข้าใจแล้วครับ or เข้าใจแล้วค่ะ
Exactly. Now, in the second part of her line, she says, thank you very much. The important word for us here is mak.
Mak means very or much. It's a word you'll hear and use all the time in Thai.
You use it after a word to make it stronger. For example, the word for spicy is phet kiao. So if a dish is dokjan, very dokjan, spicy, you would say phet mak.
That's a good one. Or if you want to say something is beautiful, you'd use the word sawaya. And to say very beautiful, it would be สวยมาก
Perfect. So Ploy now understands the situation and has thanked Tan. Let's see what happens next.
Okay, so in response to Ploy's thank you, Tan says ไม่เป็นไรครับ สถานีต่อไปก็ถึงแล้วครับ In English, that's you're welcome. The next station is our stop.
That first part, ไม่เป็นไร sounds really common.
It is. It's the classic way to say you're welcome or it's no problem. You'll hear it constantly in Thailand.
Good to know. And what about the second half of his sentence?
Right? He then says สถานีต่อไปก็ถึงแล้วครับ The first important word here is สถานี which means station.
สถานี Got it. Makes sense on the sky train.
Exactly. Then we have ต่อไป which means next. So put them together and สถานีต่อไป means the next station.
And the very last part?
The end of the sentence is ถึงแล้ว The word ถึง means to arrive or to reach. And แล้ว is a little word that means something like already. So ถึงแล้ว means arrived already.
So literally something like next station, arrive already. I can see how that becomes the next station is our stop.
That's a great way to think about it. It's his way of saying, don't worry, we're almost there.
And that's the whole dialogue, a really practical conversation about finding the right station on the BTS SkyTrain.
We're going to play it one more time for you now. As you listen, try repeating the Thai phrases out loud. It's a great way to practice.
เราจะไปตลาดจตุจักรใช่ไหมคะ
ใช่ครับ เราจะไปตลาดจตุจักรครับ
เราต้องลงสถานีอะไรคะ
เราลงสถานีหมอชิดครับ
อ๋อ สถานีหมอชิดไม่ใช่สถานีกำแพงเพชร
ใช่ครับ สถานีกำแพงเพชรคือรถไฟใต้ดินครับ อันนี้รถไฟฟ้า
เข้าใจแล้วค่ะ ขอบคุณมากค่ะ
ไม่เป็นไรครับ สถานีต่อไปก็ถึงแล้วครับ
Alright, before we move on, let's do a quick recap of the most important points.
I think one of the best takeaways is knowing the difference between the trains in Bangkok. There's the รถไฟฟ้า which is the sky train, and the รถไฟใต้ดิน which is the subway.
That's so practical. Getting those two mixed up could make for a very confusing trip.
It really could. Just knowing those two phrases will make navigating the city so much easier.
And what about that little phrase to ask, right? At the end of a sentence.
Oh, you mean ใช่ไหม? That's another great one. It's a super easy way to confirm something you think is true.
So it's a polite way to double check that you're on the right track, literally and figuratively.
Exactly. It makes you sound more conversational and helps you learn.
Awesome. Okay, I feel like those key phrases are locked in. Are you ready to test your knowledge?
Let's get to the quiz.
Question 1. Let's say you're eating some delicious Thai food and want to say it's very spicy. What word do you use for very?
That would be มาก which means very or much. It goes after the adjective, so you'd say เผ็ดมาก for very spicy. Okay, my turn. Question 2. If someone explains directions to you and you want to say, I understand, what's the key verb you need?
That's เข้าใจ which means to understand. But to be polite, a man would say, เข้าใจครับ Great. Question 3. You're on the sky train and you want to tell your friend which station you need to get off at. What's the verb for to get off a vehicle?
The word is ลง โนการ It also means to go down or descend. For example, I get off at สยาม station is ฉันลงสถานีสยาม Alright, question C. You want to ask a taxi driver to take you to a place where people sell food and goods, like the famous one at Chatuchak. What's the Thai word for market?
That's ตลาด or pole. So you could say ไปตลาด which means go to the market. Perfect. Question 5. You think you know the answer to something, but you want to confirm. How do you add, right, to the end of a statement?
You use the phrase ใช่ไหม ซัมปุย It's a really useful way to turn a statement into a question. For example, this is fun, right? Would be สนุกใช่ไหม Okay, question 6. How do you negate a noun? For example, if someone points to a cat and says it's a dog, you want to say, that is not a dog.
You would use ไม่ใช่ which means it's not or not to be, yes sir. You could say ไม่ใช่หมา meaning not a dog. Exactly. My turn for question 7. You're looking for the train platform. What's the Thai word for station?
The word is สถานี Holger. You'll see and hear this word a lot for both the sky train and the subway, like in สถานีหมอชิต from our dialogue. Okay, down to the last two. Question 8. In Bangkok, what do you call the elevated train system, the one commonly known as the BTS?
That's the รถไฟฟ้า literally electric train. You say it. So you might hear someone say, let's take the sky train, which could be something like เราไปรถไฟฟ้ากัน Last one. Question 9. Now what about the other major train system in Bangkok, the one that runs underground, the MRT?
That is the รถไฟใต้ดิน ERI. It literally means train, underground, ERI. So if you want to take the subway, you say, you take the รถไฟใต้ดิน
Awesome job, everyone. Keep practicing these words and you'll be navigating Bangkok's transit system in no time. So hopefully after this episode, no more of those classic SkyTrain versus subway mix-ups we were talking about at the start.
Right. No more standing at the wrong platform wondering where your train is.
So what's your one big takeaway from today, Claire?
For me, it's just how important it is to know the specific words for each system. Knowing รถไฟฟ้า for the SkyTrain and รถไฟใต้ดิน for the subway can save you so much time and confusion.
That's a great one. It's such a simple way to make sure you're heading in the right direction.
Well, that wraps us up for today. If you enjoyed the episode, please consider subscribing and leaving us a review. It really helps other learners find us.
And we'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment and tell us which vocabulary word you found most useful and how you plan on using it.
Thanks for listening to the Thai Alley podcast.
Keep practicing and happy travels.